everyone. Here we are back again with another great episode of the Student World Spotlight. As you're starting to get used to it, every Tuesday at this exact same time, which depending where you are in the world, might be morning, evening, or afternoon. For me here, it's evening, but it quite looks like in the middle of the afternoon because we're getting in the summer here in Europe. I'm based in Amsterdam. Guys, I see here already 68 of you watching us. I am so happy to welcome you. I have to say that every live we have here, we have a different challenge, right? Because we want the audience to be more engaging, send more questions, more curious. I love those kind of curious audience, that they ask everything. They're not shy, they're not concerned, they're not everything. They just keep bombarding the chat with tons of comments, questions, everything. We love those kind of interactions, right? This is not supposed to be a boring presentation. I hope you're starting to get to know this after so many episodes here. This is supposed to be interactive. We're supposed to have a conversation here, right? So do send your questions here. 72 people already watching us. Please let me know, where in the world are you watching us from? I see here Anno, I see Nindan, I see Yuka, I see Brian, I see Dia. I see so many people here. For Dia, it's 10 p.m. Well, quite close for myself, actually. 2 a.m. for Yuka. Oh my God, it's getting late. So happy. Thank you so much. Oh, Wagner from Brazil, from Kenya. So many people. This is so nice, guys. Thanks a lot. Bolivia, Delhi, Mexico, Turkey, Mauritius, so many guys. Mexico, we have someone from Mexico here. It will be one of the guests will be speaking from us from Mexico City. Suriname, Algeria, so many countries, guys. So happy to have you here. Folks, as you may have seen in the email, today we are going to be approaching a very, very useful content. Why? Because think about it. Many of us have the dream of going to university in Canada, right? Can you imagine yourself like studying one of those amazing campuses, like beautiful places, right? But sometimes we find ourselves like feeling a little bit concerned or lost with the requirements that we need in order to apply to study our undergrad, right? One of the requirements is our English levels. For many of us, actually, maybe 99% of us here, English can be quite a challenge and quite a barrier when it comes to our study abroad goals. Because not all of us are very proficient, right? We have been living in our own country, which speaks a different language. So when it comes to having the level of English that is required in order to go to university abroad in Canada, in the US, wherever it is, we sometimes we ended up having to do something. So today we're gonna present you a very, very nice program from one of the best universities in Canada, Trent University. We're gonna be talking about their ESL program, which is, although ESL, it stands for English as Second Language, but this is specific for English for university. So it's for people like us, or I'm not sure if it's the case for you, but it's for people like us who don't have the level yet that we need, and we can study there and then go to university and start university. But I'm not the best person to be talking about this, right? So why don't we bring to the stage the experts on this? So please welcome, guys, our guests for tonight to the show. Welcome, Gina. Welcome, Jessica. Welcome, Roberto. How are you all doing today? How are you, Gina? Start with you.
Hi there. I'm great. Thank you, Carlos. It's so good to be here. Thank you, everybody that's watching. I see over 90 people, and it's super entertaining to look at all of the countries around the world tuning in. So thank you for having me. I'm feeling super excited.
Yeah, it's super excited. I love that. This is one of the best things about our audience is the diversity of places that they are watching us from. We have Rodrigue now from Uganda. I'm gonna ask my team actually to count how many countries in the chat. Take a look at the chat, guys, and count how many countries we have watching us here today. Because it's such a nice thing, isn't it, Jessica? Thanks for coming today.
Yes, it is amazing to see the diversity of students who are joining us here today. Some who are staying up late just to be able to tune in too. So thank you for joining us today to learn more about Trent University, the #1 undergraduate university in Ontario, Canada.
Very well. And with us today today as well, we have Roberto Zambrano. Roberto, you're speaking with us from Mexico City. Is that right? How are you doing today?
Correct. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. I am very happy to be here. And yes, I am speaking from Mexico City.
Very, very nice. Guys, I'm so excited. Oh, we just reached 100 people here watching us. This number hopefully will go up. But yeah, let's get this going. The first question I wanna ask, and maybe I can start this one with you, Jenna, is who is Trent University?
Sure. So, I mean, as Jess said, Trent University is the #1 university in Ontario, and it has been for the last 10 consecutive years. So we have a really, really good reputation, and we pride ourselves on our diversity and our small professor to student ratios. You know, our university has very intimate classrooms where you really get to know your professors and create that one-on-one relationship where you can get that amazing recommendation from your professor at the end of your studies. And we also have just an incredible location in Ontario because, you know, we have 2 campuses in Ontario, and our Peterborough campus is just, you know, a beautiful natural landscape. We have one of the best environmental sciences programs in the country as well. You know, we're situated on over 1,400 acres of just natural beauty on a river with trails, and it just creates this incredible student experience and student life on campus. And then we have our Durham campus, which is, you know, closer to the bigger cities and the action if you're looking to, you know, be near, you know, the capital or the business hub of Ontario, if you will. So it's just a magical place, really. It's a magical place for students all around the world. Like I said, we have a very diverse community. It's an intimate setting. People are really interested in just making those cultural connections and learning from one another. And I don't know, Jess, if you want to expand on that anymore.
Sure. So personally, I graduated from Trent University. I went to Trent University, pursued my bachelor's degree. I did a Bachelor of Science in Psychology and combined it with business administration, and loved my experience so much that I ended up staying at Trent to work and pursuing my master's down the line too. And I did a Master of Education. Now, Trent University, like what Jenna was saying, is a place where you get to grow as a person, and you'll grow not just academically, but also in your social life. Like, I met people from all across the world at Trent University, and you learn from one another. And Trent University is a place that fosters critical thinking and analytical skills that you would need to be successful in your career once you graduate from Trent University. And in terms of the diversity of our programs as well, we have programs in humanities, social sciences, as well as professional programs. I saw that someone was asking about environmental sciences. We offer that, and our Peterborough campus could be a living laboratory for you to utilize to conduct your environmental science experiments as well. We also have programs focusing on health sciences, business, computer sciences, forensic sciences. So a pretty cool program that you should check out too. So one of the beautiful things about being in a liberal arts and science university is that you also get to mix and match programs to basically create a program that suits your interest and career goals. So remember how I said I did psychology and I combined that with business? At Trent, you could do joint majors if you're interested. You could do a major minor if you're interested in. And that's the beautiful thing about studying at Trent. It's that you are in charge of your education at Trent University, and you get to personalize your education and gain a transformative educational experience from Trent.
This is amazing. This is like music to my ears, because I remember when I was when it was my time back then to
Uh-huh.
choose my major, I had to choose between two very solid options and very different. And what I wanted was like a place in between. So the fact that it can be personalized, and this is super interesting. But guys, there are more interesting facts that makes Trent University a top place to study in Canada, right? Uh, I wanted to ask you, Roberto, in your opinion, what makes Trent University the right place for international students to study?
Well, first of all, and I am reading that most of the students are writing about the campus. Every time I'm on campus, I say, wow, it's an amazing place to study. First of all, the second one, the ranking is very important. I would say that as number one in terms of academics and scholarships, it's amazing to have this kind of opportunities in the region, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely, guys. But let me ask something. I'm starting to really like get to like I'm getting super excited about the idea of like study in Trent, even though I can't go right now. But unfortunately, there are some requirements that just like any university, and language is one of the requirements, right? So students need to have a certain level of English, and not everybody, unfortunately, is quite there yet, right? But Trent University has designed something, from what I understood, to help these people that are, facing these challenges. So, Jenna, can you explain to us more or less what is the solution designed by Trent University?
Sure. So, to be directly admitted into Trent University, students have to meet a certain English proficiency requirement. So, for example, they need like an IELTS 6.5 with no band below a 6 to be directly admitted. So there are lots of international students that meet our academic requirement, but they fall short of that English requirement. And so instead of turning them away, we say, okay, we're admitting you to Trent with the condition of ESL. And so ironically enough, a lot of students actually then turn around and look at ESL as a bit of a barrier, because it's like, oh, okay, well, I have to do ESL and then I get to start my degree. Everybody's excited, they're finishing school, they're ready to just dig into their interests and into their degree, but they have to take this ESL program. So we have basically come up with this program, an enhancement to our ESL program, I should say, that allows students to start their degree while in ESL. So our ESL program, I guess I should back up and just say our ESL program is really well established, and it's really well received. It was established in 1999, so it's been around for over 20 years. It's an accredited member of Languages Canada. And we have several amazing testimonials from students that have gone through the program and really recognize the value and recognize how much it's prepared them for undergraduate studies, because that kind of is the overall purpose of our ESL program, is to improve students' English proficiency in all areas so that they can succeed as a student at Trent, both socially and academically. And so before, we have our 5 levels of ESL, and we had kind of our 3 foundational levels, ESL 1 to 3, and then we had our top 2 levels. And what we've done is we've taken those top 2 levels of our ESL program, our academic English levels, and we've made them 4 credit. So if a student is admitted into, let's say, our second highest ESL level, they are taking Academic English 1, which is helping to prepare them for university. But while they're taking that ESL course, they're also receiving a full undergraduate credit for that course. So they're receiving 1 full credit towards whatever degree they've decided to pursue, while they're taking Academic English 1. And then when they bump up and graduate from Academic English 1 and move into Academic English 2, our highest level of ESL, they're receiving a second full credit for that top level of English, for that top level of ESL towards their degree. So if they came in at our second highest level, they're getting a full credit towards their degree in Academic English 1, and they're getting a full credit towards their degree in Academic English 2. And then we also allow them to take half-credit courses alongside their ESL studies in those levels for up to 1 full credit. So you could essentially graduate ESL and have 3 full credits towards your degree, which no other university in Canada is doing.
Absolutely. And just for like the idea of like credits is not very well known, like in some countries.
Right.
Could you explain a little bit what is a credit and when you're like when we're talking about this university thing?
Sure. And I may bring Jess in on this as well, but I was just going to start by saying basically at Trent, when you're pursuing a 4-year honors degree, you are required to earn 20 credits. You need 20 credits to complete that 4-year honors degree. So previously, students that were required to improve their English proficiency by taking ESL would take however many levels of ESL were required to become proficient. And then they would graduate from ESL and they would start with 0 credits towards their degree, 0 out of those 20, when they were pursuing degree studies. So now, if you were to start in the 2nd highest level of ESL, you would earn credits for your top 2 levels of ESL, and you would be starting your degree studies after you graduate from ESL with 3 credits out of that 20. So you're like that much farther along than you would have been previously, and then you would be taking ESL at any other university. You've already got your foot in the door. You've already established credits, which would kind of take the place of electives or classes down the road in your degree path. I don't know if that answers the question fully. I don't know. Jess,
Yeah. So because I want to make like super clear for all the folks here that are watching us. So basically, what you're saying more or less is that by taking this ESL program, you can, number one, you're going to improve your English level. You're going to reach a certain level of proficiency that you would be required to have in order to start your university. And while doing it at the later 2 phases from what I got, you would start earning the credits that you could then use it on in order to graduate when you start university in case you start at Trent, right? So to finish to graduate from an undergrad program at Trent, you need 20 credits that you earn throughout the 4 years of your studies. And at the ESL, you would already get like 2, or was that 2 that you mentioned?
So you can earn up to 3 credits. So you get 1 full credit for each of those ESL levels, but then you can also add in academic courses alongside those that are each worth like half a credit. So for up to 1 credit. So you can earn a total of 3. And this is a big deal because this is like 60% of a student's first year of study in their undergraduate program. Like just in ESL alone, a student can earn like up to 60% of their first year.
Yeah.
Which means ESL is no longer like this, this barrier or like prerequisite. It's an integrated part of a student's degree path and degree plan.
Yeah. And so in other words, like Jessica, students can actually be saving money at the end of the day. Is that true?
Yes. So I would say that it's not just saving money, but you're also saving time, right? Because think about it, the English courses that you're taking at Trent, the English for academic courses, academic credit, you are gaining credits, but you're also learning about how do you write a lab report, or how do you present in the classroom? How do you perhaps write an essay? You're learning academic skills for university to help you be successful in university as well. So I would say that there are multiple benefits to it. You're saving time, you're saving money, plus you're gaining all the skills to help you do well in university.
Absolutely. And Roberto, I want to bring you to the discussion as well. In your experience, right, talking to, especially you're dealing with the Latin American students, but in general, what is the main concern they have when planning to apply for to study at Trent University, or planning to apply for an undergrad in general?
Well, that would be the very first concern, the English level, because as you know, and most of the audience know that are not English speaking speakers, the English level and the offers that Trent University is having right now, it's something amazing to have an academic credit, the chance to save money, exactly, to save time, and to acquire all these necessary skills to start an undergraduate program, right?
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
also, if you don't mind,
Yep.
Carlos, I would also like to just add, I would say I'm looking at the chat here, and thank you guys for being so active and participating and asking questions. I see there's lots of questions about scholarships, which is definitely something that I believe we will be discussing, because Trent has a great reputation when it comes to scholarships. But that is always one of the concerns as well, is the cost or the scholarships. And when you asked about this new enhancement to the ESL program, well, it does in fact save you money, like Jess was saying, and when you calculate it out, it can actually students up to 10,000 Canadian dollars simply by like saving money on like housing, for example. Because you can save time in this program, because you're starting to earn credits towards your degree earlier, you can still essentially finish your 4-year honors degree in 4 years if you're in one of those top levels of ESL. If you are taking classes or courses every semester or every term, like at every intake, whether it's like fall to winter to summer and so on. So just by way of the time savings, you're going to be saving, spending less money on accommodations and things like that too, if you're getting through your overall studies quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, I see here, as Jenna said, we're gonna get to the scholarship questions very soon. So please hang in there. Again, I'm loving the level of engagement we're getting here. So many questions. Mirelle has sending questions about the living arrangement. We're gonna cover that in a minute. Makinwa. More comments. Everybody's sending comments, so thanks a lot. We're gonna get to all those things quite soon. Yeah, so moving on here, I have some practical questions that I think that many of the audience may be asking themselves as well. Who is this? The main one is, who is this? Is there any like limitation for the audience for this type of program, for ESL programs that we were talking about? Or, for example, some of the people that are saying here is that, some of them have a better level of English. Some are still like beginners. Is there any kind of like exclusion, or everybody, or it's for a program for everybody, basically?
So our ESL program, like I mentioned, it has 5 levels, and that's from beginner all the way up to advanced, falling just short of the university English proficiency requirement. So, I mean, right now in our ESL program, we have some students from rural Panama that are in the very beginning level, and have very, very basic level English. So our program is for everybody. It's to enhance your English language in all areas: listening, speaking, vocabulary, grammar, you name it. And then, as Jess mentioned, in the higher levels, we really do work to prepare students for university. So students start, performing research projects and reading academic journals and newspapers and things of that nature to prepare them for those projects and those tasks that they're going to have to do at an undergraduate level.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, please let us know here if it's like, if you're getting like the idea of why this program is so unique. Again, many universities offer ESL programs, but the thing that you can, the point that you can earn credits, that you can then use it on your undergrad, this is something that only Trent University offers currently. Is that correct, Jessica?
Yes, it is. And it is something that we're also very proud of to offer to our students, because we understand that for international students, you're paying a lot to go abroad to study, right? So when you're looking at your options to study abroad, you're looking at options to, number one, complete your bachelor's degree in a timely manner and in a cost-effective manner, and at an institution that is accredited too. So I see that there was a question about how accredited is Trent University. Trent University is a public university. So as you know, in all of Canada, as long as you are a public university, you are governed by the Ministry of Education. So we all have the same standards of education. So no matter which university that you go to in Canada, as long as it's a public university, you know that you are getting quality education. And so in terms of accreditation, we are an accredited university that you can come to pursue your education, whether it's for the ESL program to begin with, whether it's for your bachelor's program, postgraduate certificates, or your graduate programs.
Yeah, absolutely. We got more and more questions coming up here in the chat. Victoria is asking a question here as well. We're going to get to the other criteria for undergrad programs at the end of Victoria. So please stay tuned. But guys, now moving on here. By the way, many comments about how gorgeous the campus is. We just put it here on the screen. One from It Is Bam. I think he's from Brazil. Might be wrong here. Please let me know, It Is Bam. But yeah, it's super gorgeous campus you guys have. Roberto, you probably visit the campus already. What was your first impression when you got there?
I wanted to, when I started presenting Trent University with the slides, I saw the amazing campus, and when I was there, the first thing that I wanted to visit was the bridge in the campus, and it was, again, wow. I don't have the words in English to express that feeling, right? We have at Trent University amazing buildings for research, the classrooms, and it's something different. It's something that amazed your eyes, and it's and all the green areas that we have. Those are beautiful.
Can I share my personal experience? So as you know, I went to Trent University, and I actually went to Trent as an international student. And I remember getting off the flight and taking, because Trent had a group of people at the airport to greet all of us who just arrived. And I remember taking the bus to the campus, the Peterborough campus was where I went to. And my first impression was, wow, I can't believe that I'm studying at such a gorgeous place, because I came from a big city, a large city, Kuala Lumpur to be more specific. And so for me, coming to a place where it had a lot of greeneries was very different. But that was exactly what I was looking for, a student-centered university. And I lived on campus in my first year. So I lived in one of the residences. I had a single room to myself. And I even had a little walk-in closet in my residence room too. The cafeteria, the dining hall was right down below the building. So there are times in the morning where I would just, walk down in my pajamas, for example. Obviously, I'll put a jacket on if it's cold. I'll walk down, go get my food, go back up after to my room, for example. It's a very convenient campus. You get to live on campus if you want to. If you want to live off campus, we have buses that will bring you to campus, over 150 buses running back and forth between downtown Peterborough to the campus that will bring you to the campus itself. And one of my favorite things about Trent University is our college system. And the idea behind the college system is that there are several buildings on campus, and you will have residence rooms, you will have classrooms, you will have faculty offices, you will have lecture halls, dining halls. And the idea is that you live and learn together. So you could bump into your professors while you're having your lunch, or you could perhaps, when you're walking across the bridge that Roberto was talking about, you could bump into your friends. So one of the things that I love about Trent's campus is that it's built to create and facilitate interactions with one another. So you're not living alone. You're not going to be alone. It's a place where you get to build a community and find your community at Trent as well. And so that's for the Peterborough campus. Now for the Durham campus, I've been there many times before. The Durham campus is located in the city of Oshawa, which is part of the greater Toronto area. It's a smaller campus between the two campuses in terms of the student population and the size, but that is where you get to build that close relationships with your professors and your friends as well. And if you have family members that you want to live with in the greater Toronto area, perhaps the Durham campus may be the campus for you, because you could always live with them and commute to the Durham campus. So we offer 2 different campuses for you to choose from: an urban campus, which is the Durham campus, and a very picturesque and scenic campus. And one of my favorite things to do right now that I'm not studying anymore, but I still go to the campus, is to go for hikes around the campus. The Peterborough campus has lots of hiking trails that you can go. For our president, the president of Trent University, he has kayaks in his office, and he'll bring the kayaks down the river to kayak. He'll invite students, faculty, staff to join him as well.
Yeah, and I want to address here one of the Brian. Thanks, Brian. You've been commenting a lot here. We love the engagement. He seems to be a little bit skeptic about the accreditation of the university. You guys, we mentioned at the beginning that Trent University is considered one of the best, if not the number 1 university in Ontario. Is that correct, Jenna? Oops, I think you're muted.
Yes, sorry about that. Yes, we are, and it has been for the last 10 years. So we have a very good academic reputation. As I mentioned, we have one of the top environmental sciences programs. We are very strong in our academics. We have a very, very competitive nursing program as well. Jess, if you wanted to expand on that.
Sure. To expand more about the accreditation, it goes back to the fact that we are a public university governed by the Ministry of Education. And so in Canada, for all public universities, that we're automatically accredited by the government, and our degrees are recognized all across the world. For example, we have graduates of Trent University who are working with the United Nations. We have graduates who are working with the government of Canada. In fact, the Premier of British Columbia, which is a province of Canada, is a Trent graduate. We have the Honorable Mariam Monsef, who is one of the cabinet ministers with Justin Trudeau's cabinet, who is also a Trent graduate. In fact, Mariam and we took a psychology class together as well when we were at Trent University. So if you're wondering about the accreditation of Trent University, I can assure you that being a public university, we are accredited.
Awesome. Guys, now let's talk about the financials part of it. And that there's a whole world that we need to approach there, from like going from the costs of the ESL programs that we talked, but also in general costs, living costs and all that. And so Jenna, can you talk a little bit more about the costs of the ESL programs that we were approaching?
Absolutely. So typically speaking, the cost of ESL depends on what level you're at. So that, levels 1 to 1 to 3, or the top tier, which is the academic English 1 and 2. So it varies by level, but on average, I would say you're around $5,000 Canadian per term or semester for your ESL tuition. And so, we have some of the levels go from 4,600 up to like 5,800. And again, that is by semester or by term. So ESL is unique in the fact that we actually have 4 intakes. So we have a spring term, a summer term. So we have a spring term in April, a summer term in June, a fall term in September, and a winter term in January. So students coming in that require ESL can start at any one of those terms. And that cost I gave was per term. And thank you. Yeah, per term. So again, on average, roughly around 5,000 for tuition and tuition and on I was just going to say, and access to different things on campus if you're on campus as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is quite a competitive price, I have to say, because, the other options would be like, if especially for improving our English, people were only focused on that element. It would be like language schools, but on average, the prices for language schools are quite high. And so this seems to be a very competitive price as well. And you just mentioned that you have the benefit of using or experience the whole campus or everything. So it's quite a big hit as well. Rodrigo, Roberto, where I go, Rodrigo. Roberto, my friend, I want to ask you about the other element of this, which is the living costs, right? So besides this cost that Jenna was explaining, what are the other costs that international students can expect to pay?
Okay, yeah, sure. Well, we are talking about a living cost of around 9,000 to 14,000 Canadian dollars that should be added to the tuition, right? For personal expenses, we recommend that all our international students consider to have between 1,500 to 2,000 Canadian dollars to cover all the personal expenses.
Very, very well. And Jessica, now let's talk about the ways that we can bring this cost down. Not many of you know, but Trent University is one of, or might be the number one when it comes to the scholarships. Oh, Jenna is already saying number one. Okay, now I'm not even gonna. Okay, go ahead, Jessica. Talk about the scholarships.
Sure. So Trent University is number one in Canada for scholarships and bursaries for the undergraduate category, which means that if you're applying for a bachelor's degree, this is an area for you to explore and to tap into, which would be our financial aid for students. And we have been number one for 20 years in a row for scholarships and bursaries. So when you apply to Trent University for our bachelor's programs, you are automatically considered for an entrance scholarship between $1,000 to $3,000. And this is based on your academic performance. So for example, if you're coming in with the Cambridge A-levels curriculum and you have 2 A-level courses with grades of B or higher, you would automatically receive $1,000 in entrance scholarship. And the higher your grades are, the more money you'll get. Now, this is money that we give you once we see that you have the grades. You don't even have to apply for them. But we also do have what we call the Trent International Scholarships and Awards that you can apply for. And for that, you could receive anywhere between $2,000 to $25,000 per year. And that scholarship is renewable for an additional of 3 years. So just imagine with me, right? Our tuition at Trent University is around $25,000. If you were to get that $25,000 every year, all you have to do is to pay for your cost of living, your personal expenses. So for example, your shampoo, your toiletries, if you want to get a cell phone, or if you would like to go to the movies, your personal expenses, or if you want to catch a flight back to visit your family, all of that will be on you. But you know that your tuition is covered by Trent University. For the Trent International Scholarships and Awards, they are competitive scholarships. And what we're looking at would be your academic performance, your leadership potential, your extracurricular activities, as well as financial need. So we look at all of that combined together, and that is how we award the scholarship. So the scholarship committee will read your application, and from there, we'll award you with the scholarship. Now, there is a deadline to apply for the scholarship, and the scholarship is only offered for students who are starting in September. So to apply for the scholarships, you have to apply online and apply by February 15th prior to starting in September. So remember, if anything, it's February 15th prior to starting. So if you're starting in September 2022, you want to apply by February 15th of 2022.
Oh, guys, I have to be honest with you. I've been doing this for quite some time already. And this is the first time I hear this kind of, I don't know, methodology when it comes to applying like scholarships. And I love it because, the only thing that you need to do is really put some effort on your studies, and which you should be doing anyway, in any case. But you can really earn that, and it's I have to say, congrats on that one. Is a really, really nice. Many more comments and questions coming up here on the chat, guys. Was it clear what Jessica explained to you now about the scholarships that there were some of you asking us about this before? So We talked about the prices for the ESL that Jenna was mentioning before. Very competitive prices. Then we cover the scholarships for the undergrad, for the bachelor's programs. Now, can we, Jessica, can you mention the average cost for these bachelor's program as well? So we cover everything.
Sure. So we'll also be adding a link for the scholarship in the chat so that you're able to access our scholarship information as well as how to apply for the scholarships. But going back to the cost of your tuition, in the chat, you'll also find a link that will bring you to the cost of tuition. So the cost of tuition for our ESL program is anywhere, I would say, between $5,200 all the way up to, it could be higher, at around $6,000. So it depends on which level you are. But if you're looking at the undergraduate program, our tuition is currently at $24,250 for this upcoming academic year. So starting September 2021, the academic year is $24,250. Now, one of the things that I want to highlight is that our tuition is one of the lowest tuition fees amongst all 21 public universities in Ontario itself. So if you're comparing tuition fees among the public universities in Ontario, we are one of the lowest tuition fees. Plus, if you combine that with the scholarships, our very generous scholarships, that could help to lower the cost of your education at Trent University. For those of you who already have perhaps a bachelor's degree and you're looking to do a short-term one-year postgraduate certificate, our tuition fee for that is $18,200. So check out the link that was posted in the chat to be able to access the tuition amount, as well as how much it would cost for cost of living, personal expenses, books and supplies, and more.
Amazing.
I was just
ahead.
going to build on that. I was going to say, just Jess, with what you were saying regarding the kind of the undergraduate students. So you've got, like she mentioned, we have one of the most affordable tuitions in Ontario with among public universities, and then we offer incredible scholarships. So then if you combine that with the fact that ESL is now for credit in those top two levels, you're saving money there as well. So you have like this, I'm going to use trifecta like of savings with Trent University. So it really is a unique opportunity and a special opportunity and a differentiating factor for our university, especially for people, I think most of us are always cost sensitive. So
Roberto, my friend, you gotta help me out here because I'm almost begging you to tell me one bad thing about Trent. Because okay, campus beautiful, prices very good, very competitive. The whole preparation, the fact that it's personalized programs, everything. Like, could you help me out and avoid me from moving from Amsterdam to Trent, having graduated already? Like, tell me anything, my friend, anything that is just not as perfect in Trent University. No, I'm kidding. But guys, the other thing, like many of us, when we go to study abroad, we do for several reasons, right? Because we want to experience living in a different country, because we want to, improve our education or study something that we've always been passionate about. Or some of us do it because we're looking into, getting better jobs or boosting our careers and all that, right? So in order to get a better CV and to stand out in comparison to this very, very competitive market, we end up choosing to study overseas at a very well-ranked university such as Trent University, right? So this is a motivation from probably most of you, or some of you at least. And I want to address this because actually 97%, I might be wrong here, but 97% of the students that graduate from Trent University, they get a job up to like 2 years after their graduation. So is it correct to say, Jessica, that it is a hands-on education as well, that the programs prepare you for the market?
Yes, that is a very accurate thing. So one of the things about Trent University is that we offer experiential learning in all of the programs. So for example, if you are in our business program, you could do placements or internships, and you're working with local companies in Canada to gain that hands-on work experience. If you're perhaps in our nursing program, you're doing placements starting in your first year, and over 4 years you're gaining a lot of hands-on experience. And as you know, healthcare is also an area that is in high demand right now thanks to the pandemic. If you're in the environmental science programs, you could be doing field research. If you're in our biology program, you could be doing internships. We've had students in the past who have done internships at the Peterborough Hospital. If you're interested in a career in medicine, perhaps, we've also had field research where we would bring students to Taiwan to study the pink dolphins because they're going extinct. Can you imagine, coming to Canada, but also going abroad to study? One of my favorite stories is Ankit, who's from India. And Ankit was a student assistant of mine at the Trent International office. And Ankit, in his 4th year, while he was studying environmental studies with business, he did a joint major. He went to Barbados for 10 days with his professor. Can you imagine being in a beautiful tropical island, studying and learning? And while he was there, he was studying about the impact of global warming on island countries. And he met with someone from the Ministry of the Environment at Barbados. He was learning alongside his professor to study soil erosion and how the rising sea levels would affect that, and how the rising sea levels would also take away land for agriculture as well. So at Trent University, we pride ourselves in preparing students for their careers through experiential learning. And that is why 97% of our graduates are employed within 2 years after graduation. And many of our graduates also, if you're wondering about what about the other 3%, many of our students also move on to do their master's and PhD too. So not everyone would go into careers straight away. Many move on to pursue higher education after completing their education at Trent University. I myself, I did a research with psychology when I was a student. One of the other ways for you to gain experiential learning is by working in Canada. So when I was a student, I would work in the office of the registrar as a student assistant. And I do believe that that work experience as a student helped me to get into the career path that I'm in right now. So in Canada, you are allowed to work as a student, and you could work part-time during the school year and full-time during any holidays or breaks.
Yeah, amazing. Roberto, and Canadians are quite welcoming, right? So it is like to live this, how is it to, what would you say for those students that are concerned about like moving to Canada, and am I going to be well received? Am I going to be welcomed there? What do you usually tell them?
Well, the community obviously in Canada, and what we as Latin American people, we know perfectly that Canadians are very welcoming. They always try to make at Trent University. When I came, it was amazing the relationship that I could build with them, right? Another one thing that I wanted to mention is some examples of the companies that our grads are working all over the world are, for example, Air Canada, CIBC, Scotiabank. So this kind of relationship that you create as an international student at Trent University, and all the opportunities that you open to your own eyes, it's beautiful.
Amazing. Guys, we're approaching the final minutes here of our lives. So very
oh my goodness, that was quick.
That was super quick, wasn't it? We talk about 1 hour, but when we see it, it goes by so fast. Not sure for you in the audience as well. But yeah, so we have like Mirelle is asking about the COVID situation. That will be our final question at the end, Mirelle. So hang in there. We're getting there. so many questions coming up here. I am gonna ask for our team to start putting the contact information for further questions. So after the live, I'm sure you're gonna have tons of questions you wanna ask. So please put it. You can get in touch. The email is there. I'm also gonna ask my team to put that on the chat as well, right? But moving on, guys. Since we have very few minutes, and we still I still want to address some of the questions that are coming from the audience. I just wanted to explore very quickly, if we can try. Canada has such amazing provinces, from the beautiful west coast of British Columbia all the way to New Brunswick, which not many people know, but it's gorgeous as well. My question to you, Jenna, is why Ontario?
Sure. So, well, realistically, I mean, Ontario is both the political and the economical hub of Canada. With, we have our nation's capital in Ottawa, which is just three and a half hours away from Peterborough campus, and even closer to the Durham campus. And then we also have, the largest city in Canada, Toronto, which is only, 40 minutes from our campus, and even closer to the Durham campus. So as much as Ontario has, this gorgeous scenery, which is evident on our Peterborough campus, our 1,400-acre Peterborough campus with trails and everything, we have this beautiful landscape, but we also have those larger cities for students to really go and explore and get summer job opportunities. And so I think that puts us in a really, really good position, considering, again, that we are that political and economical hub across Canada. And so students therefore have that connection and are able to build those networks in those larger cities if they choose, and kind of build that relationship for those summer jobs and internships and for after graduation.
Oh.
And I would like to add to that too. So if you look at across Canada, 46% of all international students who come to Canada come to Ontario, 46%. The next highest percentage is 22%, and that is to British Columbia. So Ontario has been a top choice for international students because of the reasons that Jenna had outlined, and Trent University being ideally located between the capital of Canada, which is Ottawa, and the capital of Ontario, which is Toronto. We make it a great place for you to study because you have access to both capitals, which means that you also have access to more job opportunities too. So for all of those reasons that Jenna mentioned, plus Ontario being a top destination for international students, I hope that you would consider studying at Trent and in Ontario.
Oh, I bet a lot of them are. Guys, we're gonna have time for 5 quick questions. It's gonna be almost like a lightning round here. So if you want, send your questions right now. We're gonna take 5 quick questions, and then that is it, unfortunately. So first question here, I think it's a question, but I'm gonna put it here on the screen. It's coming from Ahlam. I know I'm making tons of mistakes pronouncing your name, guys, so please don't kill me. But he's saying that he has a master in telecommunication, but want to change his career. Always, there's never the wrong time to do the right thing, right? And I want to develop my skill in computer vision, like recognition in healthcare. Is there any programs in this area he could take? I'm guessing he's looking for perhaps either an undergrad or maybe postgrad. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So at Trent University, we do offer, I see that he followed up with another comment to say he's looking to begin in master's. So I'm going to address the master's program specifically from there. And so at Trent University, we offer a range of graduate programs that you can look at. And so if you're interested in looking and combining perhaps some computer skills with some healthcare, you may be interested in our applied modeling and quantitative methods program. So with that program, if you're interested in the research-based program, you get to customize your degree and focus very specifically on those 2 areas. If you are interested, we also have big data analytics as a master's program. You talk about using computers in healthcare. Right now, the whole entire world is relying on big data. First of all, we're relying on big data to track, to see how COVID is spreading across the world. Now we're also using big data to look at the effects of vaccines on population too. So now more than ever, big data is a very popular subject of interest. So if you're interested in our graduate programs, I will post a link so that you're able to learn more about our graduate programs at Trent University.
Whoa, great. Guys, 4 minutes, guys. 4 minutes. Next question from Mirelle. Thanks, Mirelle. She's asking about due to COVID, do you have an online classes as well? Yes or no? And in general, what COVID-related info should international students be aware of?
Mm-hmm. So at Trent University, we are aware that, there could be travel limitations that could prevent you from coming in person this fall. So while the whole entire university, we're excited to be back in person, we are also offering a list of courses that you could take online to begin with, so that you can come and join us perhaps in December in time for the winter term. So at Trent University right now, while we're planning for in-person, we are also offering some online courses that you can take at Trent University for the fall term. And in terms of you coming to Canada, Canada is welcoming international students. And we have a team dedicated to helping you get to Canada. So for example, you may be aware that Canada has a quarantine requirement. So our team, our orientation team, will check in with you prior to you even coming. We'll have a quarantine plan that we'll go through with you, so that when you're at the border, at the airport, you can present your quarantine plan to the border officers and they'll let you through. And then what do you do once you arrive? Do you want to quarantine in a hotel and then continue to quarantine there? Or do you want to quarantine in a hotel and then move to residence? So we'll help you out with all of that. We'll check in on you by doing a quick Zoom call with you daily to make sure that you're all set and good to go. And if you need anything, we'll always be happy to assist you from there. So in terms of COVID and how that is impacting your studies, we understand that as international students, you have that additional layer of worry, and we are here to help support you through that.
All right, very well. Mankiwa is saying that you didn't answer my question, guys. So can you put it back here, Mankiwa? I'll make sure we answer that one. All right. What else we have? Oh, by the way, guys, I have to just a quick 5 seconds to promote the student world, Jenna, if you allow me, please, because otherwise my boss will kill me because I didn't ask for likes. I didn't ask for likes. If you're watching us and I know you're there, can you please just give it a like? If you're enjoying, just click there, right? And if you really like, you can subscribe, because every Tuesday and Wednesdays we're live here. Okay, so don't forget to do that. All right, otherwise I'll lose my job. I'll maybe apply to work for Trent University since it's so easy to sell that. But
yes, you're welcome.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
See, my boss, if you're watching me right now, watch out. But anyway, so she sent me the question again. Let me put it here. Mankiwa, what's in for the non-international student? Or I think she's asking about the scholarship. Scholarship. Could you maybe sum up very quickly the scholarship? Sure. Her question, like she said, she didn't understand how the scholarships applies for international students.
I think it was non-international student. So specifically, I guess for a Canadian or permanent resident of Canada, we're also #1 in Canada for scholarships and bursaries for that. So I will post a link that you can check out the information on the scholarships and bursaries. So we offer entrance scholarships that you can apply for. We offer prestigious scholarships for Canadian students that you can also apply for. So all of that will be in the link. Check that out.
Very good. And the final question for today is from Patch. If I have done an undergraduate degree in English, am I required to take the ESL?
So again, that just depends on your test scores. So if you have official test scores and you score that 6.5 on the IELTS, for example, and I think it's like an 86 on the TOEFL IBT, then you can be automatically admitted into Trent without having to take ESL. So ESL is not a requirement for students that pass that English proficiency, that meet the English proficiency level requirements. It's only for students falling short of that English level proficiency, because we want to make sure that you're going to be as prepared as possible to be successful in those undergraduate courses, which requires that English proficiency and understanding.
Very good. And that was it, guys. That was it. Thank you so much, Jenna, Jessica, and Roberto for joining us here, for accepting our invitation and coming. Guys, again, if you have questions, you can get in touch. That's the email. We're also going to put the email here on the chat one more time. All right. Yeah. So thanks, Jenna. Thanks, Jessica. How did you and Roberto? Did you guys enjoy it? Was it fun?
Yes. Thank you for having us.
It was wonderful.
I love it.
You were very entertaining.
And it went by so fast, right?
Yeah.
Originally, I was sitting there going, oh my gosh, an hour talking. And then you told us the time was almost up. And I was so surprised. Thanks to your audience. You have such a wonderful, engaging audience. Like, I just feel so grateful that we had over 50 people stick it out for this entire hour. So thank you, guys. And we look forward to answering your questions. Like I said, my email's up there, and I will do my best to answer your questions or put you in touch with the people that can answer them specifically, depending on the topic.
I'm very proud of this audience. I have to say, guys, you've done a great job today, way better than the other audiences, if they don't hear me, hopefully. But really, really happy. Jessica, how was your experience? Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I absolutely enjoyed learning more about where all the students are from and also receiving all their questions. I was once in your shoes, right? So I completely understand what it feels like to be wondering about your next steps. What is it like to be studying abroad? What is it like to go to a new country and live in a new country? So I welcome all of your questions. If you have further questions, you could connect with us via email or on social media. We are here for you.
Yeah. And Roberto, I loved how like just a few minutes ago there was someone, I think, like doing this, or you could see the hands. Like, where are you, my friend, in Mexico City?
I'm sitting in the lobby of the tallest building in Mexico and Latin America, Mítica.
Ooh,
Great.
nice.
So it's a good place to work.
Very well.
I would like to say thank you to the audience. Muchas gracias desde Mexico, and have a great day.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, the three of you, and for joining, and I'll see you next time.
And thank you to you, Carlos, for being such a great host.
Thanks.
We hope to see you guys at Trent.
Bye, Jenna. Bye, Jessica. Bye, Roberto. And for all of you that stayed with us for all this time, guys, think about it also. Did you know that that these informative sessions can also help many of your friends and family members? We all know people that are also interested in a study abroad. So don't forget to share this video. I know it's a long one, but you can just say, hey, take a look at the Student World channel, or take a look at this amazing, or you don't even have to say amazing, but take a look at this very informative session that we just ran about the study in Canada at Trent University. So don't forget to share this with your friends. Like, when it comes to good news, and we are in need of good news right nowadays, the more we share, the better it is. So go ahead, share. And again, if you like what you've seen here today, give us a like. We love when we see like. If you didn't like what you've seen, it's fine to give our thumbs down. It's okay. It helps us to know if we're in the right path. All right. Here at the Student World, our job is to help you get out there and study abroad. That's what we wake up every single day, Monday to Fridays, and we work to bring amazing opportunities to all of you. All right. I had a lot of fun here today. Many of you joining us until now. Thank you, Mankiwa. Thank you, Mirele. Thank you, Vito. Thank you, Irisvan. Thank you, Pach. Thank you to all of you who joined us today. We had over 23 different countries. Audience, people, you guys are coming from 23 different countries, which is amazing, by the way. So thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time, next week on Tuesday, same time here at the Student World. All right? The Student World, whatever you want to study, we know how to get there.